welcome to Stirring the Pot with Ronnie and Cheryl, the cooking edition. So today we are making salmon panades. Yay! This is one of my husband's favorite dishes. So we are going to start off with the fish. What we have here so far is 1.5 pounds of fresh salmon, and I've soaked it with lemon. Earlier, I washed it, cleaned it off with vinegar, and then now I'm soaking it with lemon so I could go ahead and show you what I'm adding to my ingredients. Okay, so we are going to start off with this is my favorite complete seasoning. And as you know, I don't like to cook with a lot of salt. But sometimes we just overcook with salt. So I'm just using one product that already has salt. It's all purpose. It's all complete. And I am just using, for this recipe, I'm going to use, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to use just table, 1 tablespoon. That should be good for this recipe. You don't need a lot. And then for pepper, I'm going to use a half a teaspoon. That's a half a teaspoon of pepper for this. And my favorite is, I know here in the United States they call it, I think, red Ricardo, but in Central America we call it achote. So I'm going to use some achote. This one is from Guatemala. I got it from my sister-in-law's store in LA. We could pick her up. What's her store in LA? What is our
Joshua's Guatemalan store.
Yes, I purchased this at Joshua's Guatemalan store. There's a lot of Guatemalan products there, a little taste of home. So if you're ever in the area, look it up. And this is where I got this fresh achote from Guatemala. Okay, we're going to put that all in. I've already squeezed some lemon in there. I'm going to do it old school way. I've already washed my hands. So I'm going to just, marinate that, make sure all that is seasoned in.
For those of you who don't know, achote is also anato. That would be the name that you will find it under. But this one is it's a paste of anato. We call it achiote.
Or here in the United States, sometimes they call it, or is that in Belize only? They call it red Ricardo.
Yeah, in Belize they call it red Ricardo.
Yeah. So I'm mixing all that in, getting all those flavors in, and I'm an old school cook. And the way that I was taught is to always perfect seasoning.
Could you do it again? I missed it on the camera.
So what I'm doing is, again, I mixed all of my seasoning together. It was a complete seasoning. I put 1 tablespoon of the complete seasoning. This is 1.5 pounds of fresh salmon. And I squeezed lemon into this already. I squeezed one whole lemon earlier prior. And I put 1 teaspoon of achote or red Ricardo. Then I put one teaspoon of, I'm sorry, I put half a teaspoon of the red Ricardo in there. Correction, half a teaspoon of red Ricardo. You don't need a lot. A little bit goes a long way. And I'm just stirring it all up, getting all of that flavor in there.
Can you taste it again?
I will taste it again. I just want to make sure all of the flavor is in here. So I could taste it again. And this is fish, and you could eat fish raw. But for this is how I always taste my food to make sure that I have the proper seasoning. Perfect. I don't need to add anything else to it, but I like a lot of lemon to so I'm gonna squeeze just a little bit of lemon. I have to squeeze it over there. I don't know why I'm making it difficult for myself, but that's just how I do things.
Folks, don't forget, this is your Gulf Garifuna channel with a podcast called Stirring the Pot with Cheryl and Ronnie.
So this is nice, and I'm pretty much just kind of smushing it in because what I'm going to end up doing is just basically hash this fish for the inside of my panades or empanada, depending on where you're at. This is going to be fish panades or fish empanadas. So while I get all this in there, because we're going to do this in a one-step process. So I already have this nice and seasoned the way that I want to. If you follow me over here to the stove, whew, I've already have my some of my veggies already sauteed. That's onions, green bell pepper, and
Garlic.
garlic. Thank you, Ronnie. And I'm just gonna drop my fish into that.
Folks. The previous mix with the oil was onions, garlic, and green bell pepper.
Correct. Thank you, Ronnie. Again, you keep me on my toes, Mr. Man. You keep me on my toes. So I'm gonna make sure that all that is circulated together. Excuse my dirty hands. I'm about to go and wash it right now. Ronnie, keep an eye on the pot while I go wash my hand real quick. I'll be right back.
What an interesting process. This is one of my favorite dishes, and it's called, they call it fish panades, but then we we make our fish panades with salmon only. We don't use tuna or any other fish, and they come out really, really delicious. And if you're in town in Los Angeles or in Long Beach, let us know. So maybe Cheryl can prepare you a nice dinner.
You always have me cooking in the kitchen, man. You love offering me to cook. You see, so again, I'm putting all that together. We're just gonna hash this fish, let all of those flavors marinate together. Then I'm gonna add a little, I'm gonna put it a little bit higher. I had it on low while I was sauteing the oil. So I'm gonna squeeze just a little bit more because
Lemon.
lemon, because my husband loves a lot of lemon. So as you can see, salmon doesn't take that long. Fish in general doesn't take long to cook, maybe about 15 minutes or so. Panades is not that hard to make. Some people are intimidated by, like making the masa, um, making the masa to put the panades in, and if they don't know how. But it's a pretty, simple process. I'm going to show it to you in a little bit. But when you make your fish, you basically just use whatever fish you like. A lot of people use tuna. I don't prefer tuna. Again, like Ronnie said earlier, in our family, we rather use salmon, or sometimes I'll, make it with a little bit of red snapper. But I love to use salmon only because salmon doesn't have a lot of bones. And when you use other fish, sometimes you have a lot of bones, and then you spend time taking out the bones. But with the salmon, it's pretty much easy breezy. It's an easy fish to work with. It's an easy fish. Again, I use the complete seasoning. If you want, you could just use salt and black pepper. But what I do, if I use salt or black pepper, I'm not going to use any other seasoning. And sometimes people over season, over salt their food. So I use just one source of seasoning when I do my cooking. It's either or. If I'm using a complete all-purpose seasoning, that's all I'm using with some black pepper, and I'm not adding any additional table salt to that. And yeah, so as you can see, this is like just coming out really, really coming together. And this is basically real time, maybe what, 5 minutes in, and this is already just looking really, really great. Again, this is the salmon with the green bell pepper. The onions, I have it on medium heat because we don't want nothing to burn. And bell pepper, onions, and garlic. And lemon is what I have in and achiote. That's the red thing over there. That's giving it that bright kind of pink hue. So this will just take just a little bit more time. So while this is cooking down a little bit, because I don't need to keep an eye on it anymore, I'm gonna lower it, and then we're gonna go and make the dough for the empanada, and that's gonna be just right behind me. So we're going to readjust our setting and go on the other side so we could kind of get that going. So I'm going to just lower that, let it kind of simmer a little bit, simmer down, let the liquid go down, and then we'll come back. Oh, yes, then we'll come back to it. So, oh, that was almost an accident waiting to happen. So again, all I've had to my ingredient is just complete seasoning. Whatever complete seasoning you use, this is the one that I use. And then just simple black pepper is all I've added to it. And again, fresh achote that I got from my sister-in-law store, Joshua's Guatemala store in LA. That's all I have added to my empanadas. Well, to my salmon, I'll say. And then now I'm going to get to the masa part. Now, the masa is pretty relatively simple as well. I am going to use generally 2 cups of masa is what I use because I know I make them big number one. I stuff my empanada, and my son usually has 4 or 5. My husband usually has about 5 or 6, and I have
I
my
usually eat 4
yeah
because they
yeah
are humongous. They are huge.
yeah. So I have again 2 cups of masa in here, masa flour,
Maseca. Hmm.
masa flour, any brand you want to use, but this is the instant. All I need to do is just add water, and I'm just using basically room temperature water from our refrigerator over here, filtered water.
Folks, don't forget to subscribe, share, and like this podcast. It's called Steering the Pot with Cheryl and Ronnie.
Yes, so I'm taking just half a teaspoon of the Ricardo,
Bachote.
the
Hmm.
achote, just to give a little bit of flavor and coloring. That's the paste, just to give a little bit of flavor and coloring. Now, I could have made it easy and just like kind of put it in the water, but I'm doing it like this. And you just add a little bit of water at a time because, you want to work it in real good. I'm just rubbing in the paste. You can see the color is changing over there, but I'm rubbing that in before I'm going to integrate the masa. And I just add a little bit of water at a time. Okay. You don't want it too sticky, and then again, you don't want it too dry. You want it at a consistency where you can form little balls, little doughs of your balls. You can see I'm going to need a little bit more water and just kind of, again, eyeball it. Eyeball your masa. I'm always needing somebody's dough. But today we are needing masa dough for the salmon panades or empanada. Don't forget to subscribe, okay? If you like what you're seeing, if you want me to do one of your favorite recipe or something that you grew up eating when you were younger and you just never had the chance to learn, let me know and I'll be happy to, demonstrate it for you, give you my version of how I do things. You know, this is cooking that I learned from my grandmother and my mother. I've been cooking, like I said before, since I was about 8 years old. I've been in the kitchen. So, as you can see, that masa is coming together really, really nice. The color is lovely. I'm going to I don't need a lot. So, what I'm going to do is just dip my hand in there and just make my way through until I get it to the consistency that I want. So with that, that was 2 cups of masa flour. This will make about maybe 10 to 12 little balls. So I'm gonna make one big ball right here. And then I'm going to get, for your sake, because usually I could eyeball this, but since I am showing it to you, I'm demonstrating it to you, you could either get like a tablespoon to measure this out, to make your little balls. And you make your, just scoop it out like you're scooping out ice cream. You could actually, if I was making it bigger, I would use an ice cream scoop, but I'm gonna make this pretty much a standard size. Okay, roll it up in a ball. Just scoop it up like an ice cream. Roll it up. Okay, roll it up. And I'm going to make like maybe 10 to 12 of these. Again, roll it up. And I'm going to finish rolling these up. And when you come back, I'm going to show you how we flatten it out and put it all together. Okay? Don't forget to subscribe. Alrighty, hit that button. So welcome back to Stirring the Pot with Ronnie and Cheryl. Where we left you off earlier, this is the cooking edition. We left off earlier with rolling the masa dough, and this is what the balls look like. I was able to make 14 altogether. This is the remainder because I've already started putting them all together. But altogether, out of 2 cups of masa, I was able to make 14 little balls. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this process. If you follow me this way, I'm taking my little masa dough, because I still have my fish over here. And if you remember, this is what the fish looks like after it was done cooking. And basically, all I did was just hash the fish. So we're going to do this really quick because we have this presser. And when you have the presser, everything goes by really quick. So I'm going to take one of the little balls. Now a trick, so these little balls don't get all hard on you or anything, just get a little wet napkin, squeeze out the water and put it on there so it doesn't dry out, okay? That's how I keep it moist so it doesn't dry out, and you don't want it too wet because then it'll be too sticky.
Those are little secrets of cooking edition. Cooking edition of Stirring the Pot with Cheryl and Ronnie.
And I'm Cheryl, and Ronnie's behind the scenes. So here we go. We're gonna put it here on the presser. I don't know what the technical term for this is, but I just call it the presser. So 1, 2, 3.
It's the tortilla maker.
Okay. So I'm making this a standard size. Usually I make it bigger, but for this demonstration, I want to make sure that this is like a standard size of a panades that you'll typically get when you order one. So I'm going to take a tablespoon, a generous amount. Now, this is how much I would usually put in there, but for this demonstration, I'm going to just take a little bit out, because if you don't know what you're doing, excuse me, and you overstuff it, it's going to be hard to close it. So I'm just going to put just enough so I could demonstrate this for you. I'll put a little bit more, leaving just a little bit at the edge out so you can fold it over. I'm going to show it to you twice, and then you can rewind. So there you go. This is what it looks like, and I'm just going to fold it over, make sure the edges meet, and gently press it down.
Oh, that looks easy.
Okay. And make sure that it's sealed on the other side. Okay. And this is what it looks like. This is what's going into
the hot oil.
The hot oil over here. So this is 190 degrees. It's been sitting there. I'm gonna just place it in here. Trust me, I'm not burning myself because it's above the oil line. So I'm just gonna put it in there, slide it down, and get that sizzling for you. In about 2 minutes or so, the light will indicate that it's done. But I just I kind of have it in the back of my head. And since I've already pre-made a few over here, I'm just going to add those as well. So
Very smart.
take it out, put it in, let that cook a little bit so it doesn't stick. That's another tip. If you're doing multiple, like with this particular fryer, I could do 4 at a time. With the regular size empanadas or panadas, if I do the large size, I could only usually do 3. So what I do is just I let it, cook a little bit so it doesn't stick. Put it up, and then I just continue to add. Like I said, 4 could fit in here at one time. Then I'll add those. You know what? Because I made them pretty small, 5 could probably fit in there. So this saves time. And while this is doing its thing, I'll go back to making the rest. My husband likes it extra crispy. So I'll probably leave them in there for about 3 minutes to cook, to fry up. Look at that fryer go. Technology sticks. You don't have to do things the old fashioned way like our grandmothers used to, and you can still get the same outcome. There you go. That's 5 in the fryer. Now we're going to go back over here so I can show you how. I don't want to say easy because if you're doing it for the first time, it won't feel easy. But once you get the hang of it, it will become easy. You take the little ball, again, make sure you have a moist towel or a moist paper towel on there to keep it from drying out. Put it in the presser in the center. 1, 2, 3, press. And see,
Voila.
there you go, voila. And you take that out, give yourself room, generous amount. Spread it out. Okay, let's spread it out. Give yourself that little bit of edge. I'm gonna put a little bit more in here. Give yourself that little bit of edge so you can fold it over so you can seal. You see, make sure that they're together and then you just seal the edges. Make sure they're sealed on both sides. Just press, you could do it that way, you could do it this way. Just the most important thing is making sure that it's sealed pretty tight. This is what you have, okay? And I'm going to put it here while I make the rest. We have some already frying over there. And this is what the finished product will look like. The next time you join us, I will be basically plating it out and showing you how it all comes together, okay? So see you in a little bit. I'm gonna plate it for you. Again, this is Stir in the Pot with Cheryl and Ronnie, the cooking edition. Make sure you subscribe, alrighty? See you in a bit. So welcome back to Stirring the Pot with Cheryl and Ronnie. Again, today we were making some salmon fish panades. This is the outcome, what it looks like at the end. A hard day in the kitchen cooking for you all so you could have the recipe for fish panades, okay? I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe and like and share. And this is how I will be serving my husband and my mother-in-law today. Look at this beautiful presentation. This is the final outcome of the plate. My husband said he's only eating 4 today. We'll see. I'm sure he's going to probably have more. My mother-in-law, Mama Mimi, has already had her 1 panada. She's enjoying it. And I have some more to fry up later and more for my son when he gets home from work. So again, thank you for joining us today for today's kitchen cooking episode of Stirring the Pot with Cheryl and Ronnie. And we will be seeing you soon. Bon appetit. Ayo.